we're back. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here with Ben at 9. Usually it's Ben at 10, but I've been here all morning long, and we do have a tornado watch until noon today. But thankfully, we're doing a pretty good tornado dodge so far across the area. We have had some strong thunderstorms, mainly off to the northwest. I'll bring up the radar here in just a second. And we get this morning wave out of here, and that might kind of settle things down, or at least lower the severe weather threat for Indiana later today. While Kentucky hasn't had much activity, could still be pretty primed for some strong to severe thunderstorms later this afternoon. With that said, our area under level 2 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories from the Storm Prediction Center. And if you're not familiar with the Storm Prediction Center, they're a division of the National Weather Service. I say this all the time. That looks across the United States and sees where severe weather might happen and investigates that with all the data out there. So there's level 1, which is marginal. Level 2 is slight. Level 3 is enhanced. Level 4 is moderate. Level 5 is high risk. So we're just level 2 out of 5. So not expecting any kind of big outbreak of severe weather today, but we might have some warnings occasionally through this afternoon, and things will begin to settle down later on today. So we'll look at the radar. We'll take a look at the weather maps, looking at the future radar, futurecast, all that stuff. We'll go ahead and go through the whole regular show of Ben at 10. Again, a little bit earlier this morning. Thanks for liking or following or sharing our live stream this morning. We appreciate that. That'll help it spread across the interwebs and social media. And then also, thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel as well. All right, looks like we're up and running and good this morning. Hopefully you guys are off to a good start. I'm sure some of you may have got wet earlier this morning with the heavy downpours across the area. Here it is at 9:03 on a warm start to the day. We did hit a record high of 79 yesterday, beat the old record of 78 that was set in 2009, and likely a record warm low temperature this morning as we haven't dropped off very much so far. So let me go and get rid of my name there and bring up what's happening across the area. So the big pink area that you see that's kind of wavy looking, that's kind of highlighted, that is the tornado watch until noon. That is basically from Bullitt County, Hardin County north. So areas mainly along the Ohio River north through much of central Indiana is under the tornado watch until noon. Thankfully, I'm not seeing any tornado warnings at this time. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning. This expires in 11 minutes. That is for the Bedford area in Lawrence County. You can see that storm approaching you guys. Slight chance of some localized damaging wind gusts with that as it moves across Bedford here pretty shortly. Moving near Oolitic right now and moved through Bloomington. So my daughter got some gusty winds up there once again, and that's moving into Brown County, into Nashville, Indiana. As far as southern Indiana is concerned, mostly just garden variety showers now, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. And then we do have some strong cells out to the west of Jasper again. I know you guys in Du Bois County had the sirens go off for a severe thunderstorm warning a little bit earlier and out towards Lagodi. And we can put a track on this storm right here on the leading edge of it. There you can see heading towards Bedford, basically now, and into Brownstown at about 9:26, Jonesville 9:30, into the Seymour area at about 9:32, and 9:34 into the Elizabethtown, Indiana areas. All right, so that's the track on that one. And other than that, we're pretty dry over New Albany and Jeffersonville. Had the heavy rain coming down over Floyd County earlier this morning with lots of lightning and thunder. And then just a band of some regular old rain that's been moving through the Brandenburg area and western Hardin County. Certainly nothing severe with that. And then you've got some moderate rain coming down, some heavier stuff around Pekin, Indiana there in eastern Washington County, Indiana. Salem's pretty wet this morning, and this is tracking to the east and northeast. So some of that rain heading towards Austin and Scottsburg here in just a second. But so far, the stronger storms in a line to the north, moving across I-65 just south of Indianapolis. There are a bunch of warnings all the way from Muncie down to near Indianapolis to Bloomington, but so far bypassing much of our area thus far this morning. Hey, Mary Dale. Is there a reason your volume is much lower? Is it lower? I don't know. I'll check the volume again. Bedford is crazy winds now. Blew the doors wide open at the Bedford Square. Really? That is crazy. Since Mary mentioned that, I will check the audio here real quick, but I did just check it. It seemed okay. Investigate that with all the data out there. I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm not sure if your volume's a little bit lower there. Jay, yeah, it sounds pretty good. All right, we've got Kyle saying the sun is out right now. And is that a bad thing? Well, where we haven't had storms, we'll likely heat up a bit. I actually see a little blue sky, Kyle, out of our weather window 10,000. Thank you, Donna, for the volume check there. And Dennis, yeah, I think, Mary, it may have just been lower on your end this time around. Tanya, light rain in Lexington, Indiana. We see that on the map as well. So, yeah, I mean, we still have the energy out there, Kyle, for the potential of another round of some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. So we'll take a look at that. Again, our area under a slight risk of severe storms from the Storm Prediction Center, which means typically you'll get, a few warnings here and there. You can't rule out a tornado warning. It's a pretty low risk of a tornado. I think we're like 2%. If you put a 25-mile circle around your house, 2% risk of a tornado in our area. And hey, Gail, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thanks for dropping in the comments there. So much of this activity is a little bit worse to the north. So again, knock on wood, we'll continue to do a tornado dodge with this tornado watch that goes until noon today. I will go ahead and bring up as well here this morning. Thanks for popping in and watching the show. Again, thanks for the like or the subscribe or the follow as well while you're here. So here is a look at our weather headlines for today. Severe storms possible. This is round one we talked about, mainly in Indiana. We talked about the timing of this yesterday. Round two could be more of a punch over parts of Kentucky, as these storms here may settle down a lot of the atmosphere in southern Indiana. But as Kyle mentioned, with some sunshine, and as we warm well into the 70s, I've got a high of 75 today. There still could be some energy for some strong storms later this afternoon. That would be round two. And then this evening, things will settle down completely, and we'll begin to dry things out overnight and chill down with wind chills in the 20s early tomorrow morning. So I've got a chilly Thursday on there, and then back to some lower 60s Friday and Saturday, but it will be breezy on Friday with a little bit of a warm up on the way. And then I think we may hit some low 70s on Sunday before some rain moves in Sunday night, switching maybe to some light snow showers early Monday. So we talked about it yesterday too. Wild weather pattern here for us over the next 7 days and maybe for the next couple of weeks as well. Real quick, back to the radar for our friends in Bedford, as Dennis mentioned with this report right here. Blew the office door wide open at the Bedford Square. So that is a pretty good wind right there. And you've got another one coming right at you into the Bedford Square as well. So heads up there with that severe thunderstorm warning that continues for about 5 more minutes. You can do a loop on some of this activity. You can see it moving from the southwest to the northeast. And again, the atmosphere is still fairly juicy out there. Let's real quick take a look at some of the ingredients for the severe weather. And then we'll go into the full show here this morning on an hour early because, hey, we've got activity happening right now. Might as well do it while we have stuff going on. So going into the future radar here. And my model of choice to start off with is the rapid refresh weather model. And let me take this back an hour. So it's doing a pretty decent job at picking up on what we have out there now. Yeah. Thank you, Mary, for doing that. Good morning, Carolyn. Heading home from Memphis, from Charleston, West Virginia. And that's actually good because West Virginia has a higher risk of tornadoes later on today. So this is the activity that we have out there now as we look ahead in time. notice that there's more to come. So this is around 1 to 2 o'clock. This is now around 3 o'clock. And if some of these are slow movers, flooding is part of the concern today as well, where some areas could pick 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. That's going to rise the East Fork of the White River, the Muscatatuck River, some other river systems. The Ohio River should stay below flood stage, though. And notice Kentucky getting in on the mix later today as well. So it could be a couple more rounds of some showers and thunderstorms. Mary says the volume going up and down. Huh, that is interesting. We had kind of that issue yesterday as well. It might be me moving my head up and down as well. I'll try to keep it pretty steady. All right. All right, so here we go. So this is at around 2 p.m. There's 3 o'clock. And here's 4 o'clock, 5. And as I go back in time here a little bit, I'm going to bring up the available potential energy. And this is the gasoline, the fuel for the storms, and it is pretty high around the area. So there you go. We've got plenty of the fuel for thunderstorms. And then I want to go back here to basically right now. This is the low level winds. Maybe I need to point my mic a little bit more like that. There we go. Very strong winds, not too far off the ground, stronger to the northeast, but we still have, occasionally some of these storm tops can kind of channel down some of these strong winds, and we might get some warnings because of that. But these are about 5,000 feet, over 60-mile-per-hour winds. We've got wind energy, we've got the fuel for the storms, and we've got a front that's moving in later this afternoon. So you've got several different ingredients for some strong weather across the area. And so that is the HRRR weather model. Let me go to the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, and I'm going to take this to the reflectivity here. And while I'm loading this up, let's move this forward a little bit in time. I think the HRRR has been doing a little bit better than the NAM 3-kilometer. And I'm just checking again, checking the mic again here, just in case. And investigates that with all the data out there. I don't know. Every time I bring up my mic, it sounds good. Just checking again. Checking the mic. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe on some platforms it's not working as well as others. So this is the weather model. As we take this into the afternoon, the NAM 3-kilometer, this is at 1 p.m., also shows the potential of some gusty winds moving our direction. Or I should say some gusty storms moving our direction. Hey, cheers to you guys for tuning in on a busy weather day. We got Big Happy here with the English breakfast black tea, I believe it is called. Ah, there we go. Keep the energy going this morning. All right, we've got doubled up the microphones here. So we'll see how we do with this. We got Peggy Sipes with a good morning. Thanks for tuning in here. And let's get back to the weather models. And here we go for later on this afternoon. This is at 3 o'clock. Hey, Mary, thanks for tuning in here this morning. And Carol, thank you very much for that confirmation. So just looking clustery with more heavy rain, potentially some embedded severe thunderstorms here as well later this afternoon. Again, just a juicy atmosphere. Probably someone in master control messing with it. I am master control. BP 2026. So it is good now. It's not you moving your head. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So this is more of the storms later on today. And this is around 6, 7 o'clock. Oh, 6, 7. There you go. And moving into Kentucky. And some of the strongest storms likely off to our east and northeast later afternoon, early evening. That moving into eastern Ohio, West Virginia, and eastern Kentucky. And I'll show you the Storm Prediction Center actually has a higher risk of some tornadic activity that way later on today as well. So again, plenty to talk about here on a Wednesday, a wild Wednesday of weather here for us. And so we'll take our time. It's at 9:16. We may even go past 10 o'clock. Typically, this has been at 10 a.m., but we're on a little bit earlier, of course, because we got the active weather moving through right now. So let me bring back one more thing. The rad sat across our region. Oh, there's some snow on the map here as well. And actually, we may have some snowflakes mixing in early Monday. Something to look forward to there. So again, here's the radar and satellite over the last couple of hours. All this moving from southwest to northeast. But there's more energy out to the west that will likely fire up more storms later on today. All right, before we really get cooking here this morning, I want to say thank you. You can see at the bottom of your screen, Lions Roofing. If you have any issues with your roof after a severe weather day, we're here to protect you now, but they will protect you after the storm. And it is Lions Roofing, Lyons, roofingco.com. You can get free quotes there, or you can call 812-294-3595. I want to thank our partners here at the Ivy Tech Sellersburg campus. You belong here. You can take a look at the Ivy experience here at their website, or you can sign up for Tuesdays at the Tech and get that one-on-one information, that tour, how to sign up, register, career coaching. They'll send you in the right direction, and they'll get you cooking, get you going here with your post-secondary education. Make sure the kiddos in high school are getting their free dual credit college credits as well. I want to thank our plumbing partner in the Commonwealth, Clog Busters with a Z. After all this heavy rainfall, hopefully no issues, but if there are any issues at any time, storm-related or not, in the bottom right-hand corner, you see a lot of ways to connect with them. So all throughout the state of Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I should say, here is your connection to a great plumbing service. 859-762-1214. And Michael Long, who is often watching our show and just had some strong weather go through his area as well. But you can contact Michael Long right here. If you go to amfam.com and then search Michael Long, you can see the page that I'm talking about right here. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence and customer experience. If you want to call him and get a quote, tell him I sent you. 812-578-3072. Looking forward to our golf scramble Sunday morning. I'm glad we got the morning flight, because it looks like it's going to be nice and dry, low 70s as well. All right, our live peek outdoors here with the Falls of the Ohio.org camera. Did see some peaks of sunshine. Clouds are filling back in. And the good thing is, with the rounds of showers and thunderstorms this morning, we hope that kind of churns over the atmosphere and we have a little bit, or at least a lot of Indiana. Hopefully the air is less unstable, or meaning less fuel for the storms. But Kentucky is pretty primed for later on today. So there's the low clouds associated with just kind of a unsettled day that we have across the area. A reminder too, you can always get your weather information here at extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live stream up right now. We've got interactive maps, a very toasty 71 degrees, our current temperature, with a wind gust at 26. I haven't mentioned yet too, besides the storms, today's just going to be warm and windy in the 70s, and we have a wind advisory until 7 p.m. We could have some wind gusts up around 40 to 45 miles per hour. So just a blustery one with that wind coming in from the southwest. So if you're driving north and south routes, really kind of rocking and rolling, especially in the high-profile vehicles. Tough day for the delivery drivers out there. All right, so you've got the brand new 7-day forecast that I posted right here, and you also have a brand new weather story that I posted on there too, which this should be updating here. I'm trying to get this website to clear the cache and update. Let's see if it will do that. There it is. So tracking today's severe weather threat is the new story. And then you can go to the severe weather outlook for today. Again, all of our region is in the yellow. That's level 2 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. When you click on tornado here from the Storm Prediction Center, notice the darker areas to the northeast of us and to the southwest of us. that's where you're getting into a higher risk of tornadoes. And they've also made this. Now, I love the Storm Prediction Center, and you should too. And feel free to look at it. I mean, some of it can get a little confusing. It is a little more confusing now because they've added in an additional kind of breakdown, kind of conditional, I would say. So what they're saying here is if a tornado is produced in the slight risk, how bad could that tornado be? Or how bad could the hail be? Or how bad could the wind damage be? And we bring this back up. This is new to March and going forward. On the right side, there's an intensity level of 1, 2, 3. So the hatched area means EF2 tornadoes could occur. Now, if you had the lines across it, that would be EF3. And then if you had lines going both ways, that's level 3. And then that would be EF4 or greater. But we're not even in an intensity level. So that if we had a tornado, it would just be a quick spin up in our area. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the Storm Prediction Center and their products, they also coordinate with our local National Weather Service and issue the tornado watch, like the tornado watch we have out now. This is the wind threat, and again, higher to our northeast and to the south. And then the hail threat also higher over Ohio and West Virginia. So we'll see what happens later today. And again, I don't know if you saw earlier the hail that came out of northern Illinois yesterday near Kankakee, Illinois. And it was like 3 to 5 inches, some of the largest hail I've ever seen. And then they also had a very, very long track, powerful tornado up that way. So that was kind of the epicenter of the tornado outbreak yesterday. I haven't changed anything, Mary. I don't know. That is strange, but it is much better now. I'm confused. Good morning, John Fox. Thanks for tuning in here this morning as well. And let's start to bring up the forecast here for everybody. Oh yeah, I was talking about the web page here. I think I'm done talking about it. I think I've talked about it all enough. But you can, again, get your interactive radar here. I was using this earlier to check out the lightning. There's storm tracks. There's lots of different stuff you can play around with. And it shows the only warning is now east of Indianapolis. And so no warnings, thankfully, at this time, despite the tornado watch in our area. All right, so we got a good morning watching from YouTube. Tanner, thanks for tuning in here this morning. Timothy Kane, will the afternoon be bad? It could be bad in parts of our area. We'll, again, look at the futurecast for that. And Laura, yeah, we were on, I don't know, like 6 o'clock? No, 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock maybe. It was early. We had some weather popping up, so we did an early one. So yeah, there could be a few severe thunderstorm warnings later today as well. That threat is going to be a bit greater for the areas there in Ohio, Eastern Kentucky, and into West Virginia. So again, we'll take a peek at that again in just a second. All right, let's go through it here. Just a quick reminder, if you ever want to get in contact with me, got a weather question, or want to learn about advertising and marketing solutions, you can email me, ben@extolmag.com. Our weather headlines here for today. Severe storms will still be possible. This was just round one. We'll have an afternoon round as well, and then things will settle down this evening as the cold front moves through. Strong winds, meaning you get a severe thunderstorm warning when the winds can be possibly in excess of 60 miles per hour. Heavy rain potential and some flooding, 1 to 2 inches. There could be some hail involved. Most likely it won't be too large. Usually the tornado threat and the hail threat kind of go hand in hand. The larger the hail, the possibility of a larger tornado as well. Not always the case, but often is the case. And then we also have the potential of some frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Chilly weather for tomorrow morning. Behind this front, we'll see our temperatures drop to the 30s overnight with wind chills in the 20s, but then a decent recovery with some sunshine up around 50 tomorrow afternoon, back to some lower 60s for Friday and Saturday. It'll be a windy Friday with the system just off to our northeast, but it looks like we'll have a dry spell for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Great weather for the St. Patrick's Parade Saturday. I'll be out there at O'Shea's judging all the paraders going down Baxter and Bardstown Road, 3 until 8 p.m. So come on out and join the party. Saturday, the weather shaping up fantastic. And just something to keep in mind on your calendar, April 4th, Final Four Saturday at the Melwood Arts Center, a benefit concert for Jessica's Journey Foundation with the Juicebox Heroes, live music, good food, good drinks. So come on out there. How many days until? 9 days until spring officially begins. We got a little left in the gas tank for winter, though, next week. Well, more on that in just a second. Maybe a snow chance. Thunder over Louisville in about 38 days. And we got Derby Day in 52 days. Memorial Day in 74 days. Kind of the unofficial start to our summertime. Laura saying, how's it looking for Valley Station? Just a heads up. Again, it looks like we'll have another round this afternoon. The timing is almost impossible right now, but just afternoon-ish. There might be another watch later today. Whether that's a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch, I would suspect we'll probably get another one later today. So as I always say, if you got a watch out, just be prepared. And if you have a warning, seek shelter. I mean, that's all we can do with any severe weather situation. Just be ready this afternoon. And then, again, Laura, by the evening, things will settle down. We'll look at the latest HRRR, high-resolution rapid refresh weather model here in just a second. Today's weather history, it's crazy. 1888, an unexpected blizzard dumped 4 feet of snow, New York to New England, killing 400 people, known as the White Hurricane. 1911, the deepest snow cover ever measured in the United States was 451 inches in Tamarack, California. I'm guessing that's the Sierra. 1917, at 3:02 p.m., this is a bad one here. This time of year, again, I say it all the time, severe weather ramps up fast in the month of March. So in 1917 at 3 o'clock, many in Newcastle, Indiana, lives were changed forever in just a few terrifying minutes. 22 people were killed. Hundreds were injured. 500 homes were damaged or destroyed, and many of the city's greenhouses were leveled by the violent tornado. 1923, an F5 tornado, now we say EF5, struck Pinson, Tennessee, killing 20 people. And in 1990, 44 cities in the central and eastern United States reported record high temperatures. We've got 84 degrees in Lynchburg, Virginia, and Charleston, West Virginia, Augusta, Georgia, Columbia, South, my old stomping grounds down there, had some 88 degrees. All right, our stupid weather jokes of the day, and then we'll get another tour of the radar and your future cast here in just a second. And this one is provided by my neighbor, Steve. I've heard this one before. I don't think we've done it on the show, but geese fly in a V formation. Do you know why one side is longer than the other? Because there are more geese on that side. That's the scientific reason. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot. What did the hat say to the other? Stay here. I'm going on ahead. Going on ahead. All right, today, 75 degrees. You can feel some of that humidity out there. Rain and storms. Severe chances still possible later this afternoon. Again, settling down this evening. Otherwise, it's going to be windy out there. Southwest winds around 15 to 30, some gusts to 40, sunset at 7:46. And tonight, turning colder, a low of 36. Before the winds slacken off by midday tomorrow, the morning time could have some wind chills in the 20s, so bundling up a bit. Kind of a shock to our system after these 70s we've had and a record high of 79 yesterday. So 45 at noon tomorrow, 51 for the afternoon high for our Thursday afternoon. So a little bit below our normal high of 56. Normal low is 37. So temperature is actually not too far from the average. And here we go to the 7-day forecast. 63 Friday and a windy day Friday. 61 Saturday. And great weather for our St. Patrick's Parade in Louisville in the Highlands. And then Sunday's rain chance looks like it's pretty late in the day, especially towards the evening time, and I hope that's the case. Selfishly, again, I've got a golf scramble, first golf scramble of the year, 72 there. And then chilling down to the upper 30s, breezy Monday, and a chance for some flurries. Maybe some flurries there. Tuesday, 41, and then 46 Wednesday. And I'm not really putting it on the 7-day forecast, but the GFS weather model did have a snow chance there midweek next week. I'm going to wait a couple more runs for that to see if it actually holds true. The Euro and the Canadian did not have that snow chance. So again, we do have a tornado watch until noon today. Thankfully, no warnings at this time, but I think things will ramp back up for round 2 later this afternoon. Big Happy is full of black tea this morning. Laura says brilliant. And yikes for next week. I'm with you with the yikes. We've been getting kind of spoiled the first week and a half of March with the 60s and 70s for the most part. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. Bring this guy here back up to the stage. And this is going to show us the radar and the futurecast one more time here as well. Oops. All right, let's bring up the radar. So the overall view, so a pretty large system. I mean, if you're looking at the whole thing, there's severe weather chances all the way from the Gulf Coast up to, I believe, New England. Let me get rid of the Storm Prediction Center's local storm reports. So in the middle, and I hope it's the case, we're kind of in the gap as far as where the worst severe weather could be. So let me bring up the Storm Prediction Center's maps once again. So I guess not to New England, but all the yellow is the slight risk of severe storms from the deep south through the mid-Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, and into Pennsylvania. And then when you qualify this a little bit more, the probability of a tornado, let me get rid of the radar sites that are popping up. There we go. And get back to this. So there's a greater chance here over southeastern Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania of tornadoes. This is the tornado threat map. And then also down here in eastern Texas to Alabama, there's a higher threat of tornadoes. And then we're under the lowest risk of tornadoes here. Again, not a zero chance, but it's a lower chance. So we'll take that. I'll stop doing that. Where do I need to go? Click on the map. Let me see. Let's go to the next. Let's bring up the radar and set, or just the live radar. Here we go. There. Get rid of that. So right now, as we look, just some light rain over parts of Metro Louisville. You get rid of the text there. Zoom in a little bit. The highlighted area is, of course, our tornado watch until noon today. But things are already settling down. I think the worst for the morning time is gone. We're going to wait for things to charge back up this afternoon. And there you can see just some bits of light rain around Louisville right now. Also some sprinkles over downtown. A little bit steadier there. Northeastern Jefferson County and heading into Oldham County around Crestwood and Goshen. And some light rain around Jefferson Town. And we've got some heavier rain about to move east of Madison. A little pocket there of some moderate rain around Hanover. And then some gusty winds with this little line moving through Mitchell. It's been moving through Bedford, Indiana. And let me click on this guy right here. That is the storm ETA heading into Campbellsburg at about 9:40, Medora 9:46, Brownstown 9:53, Crothersville at about 10. If it holds together, Austin around 10 o'clock, Scottsburg 10:03, North Vernon 10:14, Hanover 10:17. So just some gusty winds with that. That is called a special weather statement. This yellow area right there, it's not a warning, it's below a warning. But it has this storm moving east at 69 miles per hour. With wind gusts around 40 miles per hour. Maybe a little small hail. You can see here just to the east of Mitchell, going down Highway 60, just to the northwest of Campbellsburg into Washington County, Indiana, there is potential for some gusty winds. This is a look at the base velocity or the potential of those strong winds. They don't look too crazy to me. I don't see anything wild standing out here. But again, maybe up to 40-mile-per-hour winds with that. But no warning on that right there. So that's kind of the tour of the radar. Nothing happening really other than some sprinkles and spots over the Commonwealth. Kentucky's pretty quiet. So far, Mary, I agree with you. I don't want to press our luck, and I'll keep knocking on wood here, that we have done a pretty good job at the tornado dodge over Indiana. Now, not the case up in Bloomington a few weeks ago when they got hit by an EF2 tornado up that direction. But the strongest weather now east of Indianapolis, traveling down I-70 towards Richmond, Indiana. We've got some family there. All right, let's load up the Futurecast here at 9:37 for those of you that are popping on a little bit later. We'll go through it one more time. And we'll probably by now have a brand new update from the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Weather Model. So it is picking up pretty well on the stronger storms east-northeast of Indianapolis. Not much around here right now, but there's more activity out to the west. So there's more to go later on today. So as we go forward in time here to around noon, here you can see more development moving in. But again, hopefully we've kind of churned it over. This is the hope that later today, while there could be some strong thunderstorms, they will not be as bad as they could be thanks to this morning round of showers and thunderstorms. But there you can see the potential of some heavy rain, maybe some hail, and some isolated damaging wind gusts. This here is at 1 p.m. today. And this does look worse than the NAM 3-kilometer. We'll take a look at that as well here in just a second. We're comparing and contrasting the very latest weather models. I'm looking at it as it's coming in with you. So these update every hour. Kathy was woken up. I don't even think woken's a word, but it's a word for me. Woken up by the thunder in Trimble County this morning. So this is at 3 p.m. There you can see some more active weather across the area. And ponding of water possible, some localized flooding possible. This here is at 4 o'clock later today. So I wouldn't be surprised if at the very least we get a severe thunderstorm watch for later today. Remembering a watch is usually given out a few hours ahead of time. That's kind of the best case scenario. That we see the ingredients for the potential of severe weather. And then your warning is when you need to take that action. And then here you can see at 5 p.m., southern Indiana is pretty much in the clear, out of the woods there as far as severe weather. And then Kentucky is a bigger heads up for later this afternoon. Good morning to Mike Siebert. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. So that's 5 p.m. And then here we go to 6 p.m. You're starting to see it move east of Louisville. So early mid-afternoon, let's stay extra weather aware for the potential of some strong weather still moving through our area. Still have some of the ingredients there. Again, this is not a perfect setup, but anytime we have enough ingredients for severe weather, we watch it, we wait, we see what happens. We nowcast, meaning we're just watching and waiting. If the warnings pop, we'll let you know about it. So there we go. The threat moving more into eastern Kentucky later today. This is at around 7 p.m. And then this is where we could have, this is the higher threat for tornadoes in Ohio and West Virginia. They might get busy, hopefully not like Illinois was yesterday. And then that's all gone, and things are tapering off. This is 9 p.m. today, so there you can see it's just plain old rain on the backside of this front. And shall we look at temperatures tomorrow morning? 7 a.m. It is showing some 30s out there tomorrow morning, but Still a little bit breezy too, so wind chills likely in the 20s as we get started tomorrow. So bundle up a bit. It's the wind gust map tomorrow morning. Some of the wind gusts around 20 with, again, temperatures in the 30s. So it is going to be maybe a little bit of a shock tomorrow morning. And then let's take a look at our cloud cover map. So this is tomorrow morning. Let's watch those clouds clear. Sunshine returns for our Thursday afternoon. Hallelujah. It is going to be cooler, around 50 for tomorrow afternoon, but the winds will be dying down. Not too shabby tomorrow afternoon. Seeing the clouds clearing. So this is your futurecast clouds right here as the sunshine returns. Let's go back to now, basically, our setup right now. And we looked at this ingredient a little bit earlier, but there is a low-level jet over the region. You got to watch things closely when you have this guy overhead. It's showing some crazy strong winds at around 5,000 feet. So this is a lot of wind energy with this system. But let's watch where this low-level jet goes later today. So we got the low-level jet this morning with this round one. As we go to later this afternoon, still looks like we have a low-level jet across the region. Still a lot of wind energy, so we still have the ingredients. And then when you put that together with our CAPE, our available potential energy, that is plenty. So you got a combination of wind energy, the fuel for storms, and the front, which is a kicker, which will help kick up showers and thunderstorms later today. So that there was the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh weather model. And then this is the NAM 3 kilometer. So it's another high resolution weather model. And it also shows the potential of some strong storms this afternoon. This is around 2 p.m. today. So just another heads up, we'll likely have another wave of some thunderstorms. And this here is at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So it's like an hour behind the HRRR. So give or take late afternoon, southern Indiana settles down. Kentucky, especially east of I-65, ramping up late afternoon into the evening time. There you can see a lot of that towards Lexington at sunset time. This is around 7 to 8 p.m. Mary saying hallelujah to the sunshine tomorrow. And Devin Wells, will these storms bring some good thunder and lightning? You got it. There should be quite a bit. Plenty of energy for some frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. And Laura says we need 60s and 70s always and forever. We just need to move to San Diego. That's where you're going to get that all the time. All right, so that moves through. Should we look long range now? I don't know if we can break down today's weather any more than we already have. I can show you some wind gusts before we look at a long range outlook, and maybe we'll show you some snow. How about that? Hey, Orlean, a little bit late. I'm actually a little early. So we're meeting halfway in the middle here at 9:45 this morning. The Ben at 10's Ben at 9. So again, if anybody's popping on midway through the show or towards the end of the show, thanks for the like or the share or the follow or the subscribe. We appreciate you. So this is a look at the wind gusts here. I'm going to go back to this afternoon as round 2 ramps up out ahead of these storms. Those are some pretty strong winds, over 40 miles per hour. So that's why we have a wind advisory. Low-level jet is still pumping across the area. So get ready for a blustery one later this afternoon as well. And again, late afternoon, this is before sunset, Indiana settling down, and things ramping more up for Kentucky late afternoon, evening time with these really gusty winds. So southern Indiana will be the first to get rid of any severe weather threats, I'd say by late afternoon, and then Kentucky deals with it east of I-65 for later today. Laura does not like Cali. Hey, good morning, Ron Washburn. And it is windy in Hodgenville. Yeah, definitely a windy day. Wind advisory for the entire area until 7 p.m. today. And then this evening, things will begin to settle down as the storm threat moves off to our east. Dew point map. Check this out. So this is a measure of the water content in the air. Dew points in the 60s can give you severe weather. That's when you feel kind of the mugginess in the air. If you step outside, you can kind of feel it. And then look at these dew points back behind this front, back down to the 30s and 40s. So what a sharp contrast here between kind of more like a winter-like dry air mass and then more like a late spring, early summer. Our temperatures here today more like May, and the humidity levels more like May. But look at that. That wall of dry air punching in. Isn't that cool looking? So that green wedge right there is high levels of humidity, high levels of water content in the air, and then there's that punch of dry air moving in. This is at 6 p.m. So that is the front. And that front acts like kind of a ramp and can shoot those storms up. And we call that a kicker. There's other kickers like a low-level jet. Sometimes mountain ranges can be kickers. It's called orographic lift. Sometimes you can have a jet streak that's embedded within the jet stream that can help kick up storms. So this front is a kicker. And we also have the ingredients, the fuel, and the winds for the storms as well. Sometimes more than we ever wanted to know on the show here. This is the 500 millibar winds up at about 18,000 feet. And they're rocking and rolling as well. 80, 90 mile per hour winds up top. And this is a brief trough of cool air that's going to drop in for tomorrow. Let's go to early tomorrow morning, see if we can load up the 500 millibar winds here. There we go. So the reason we get this quick cool spell, see this dip in the jet stream? You get the ridge out west. That just opens the door to a quick cool shot for our Thursday. And good morning, Lily and Lasley. Got 71 at the house there. And Laura saying, dry air better for breathing. I'm kind of glad we got some rain today, though. I mean, we don't really need it, but I did put seed down last week, grass seed, about 25 pounds of it. So I'm hoping we get some good grass starting to pop up in the yard here. All right, let's go to the long-range forecast, and then maybe one more tour of the radar, and then we'll wrap things up here. It's at 9:49 now on your Wednesday morning. Happy Hump Day on this March 11th. So let me go to the GFS weather model. And we're going to go after today's weather, okay? We're going to go to the weekend. And this is going to take us to March the 16th. No, March the 15th. March the 15th is going to be our Sunday. And so here we go. Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Looks all dry across the area. 11 a.m. dry. And into the afternoon, still dry. So again, selfishly, good stuff for my golf scramble. And then by Sunday evening, this is at around 8 p.m., we start to bring in our next rain chance. Not expecting severe weather with this, but there might be a few rumbles of thunder as that moves through. This is at around 11 p.m. Sunday night. And then I'm going to switch this over to the precip type. Because this does show some flurries. It's hard to see, but it shows some flurries here flying on the backside of the system for early Monday. It's around 8 a.m. Monday. So we may have some light snow showers Monday morning. And then what's worse Monday morning are these wind chills that are showing teen wind chills. Could be worse. Wind chills in the minus teens out over northern Missouri and into Iowa. Old Man Winter making a little visit right before spring begins. Not this Friday, but next Friday on the 20th. All right, so we got the cold air here for Monday in the 30s. And check out our Monday afternoon wind chills in the teens. Teens and 20s for Monday. Just fantastic. All right. Zooming back out. You're looking, if you're like me, you're looking for the yellow and the orange. That gets you back into the 60s and 70s. But much of next week, again, Old Man Winter is taking charge here. Here's the 17th, so next Tuesday, it is looking cold across the area and breezy. I'm going to bring back this. Here's that on the 18th. This is next Wednesday. And we're on the coolish side with the warm weather out west. It is a ridge out west and a trough over the east. And then we go into the 19th, which is Thursday. Looks like we're still under the influence of some chillier weather while they are heading into summer-like conditions over Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas. Huge ridge out to the west. Anomalous dynamics here. This is a ridge in the jet stream way up there, and then a trough over the east. So we stay on the coolish side. And again, in that trough, you're going to get cold air advection or a cool flow. So this is through the 19th. Let's go to our first day of spring, not this Friday, next Friday. Hey, right on time. We might start to warm things up. This showing some 60s back here. Look at that. Maybe even some 90s out over the Great Plains. Getting toasty out there. Into Saturday the 21st, we are on the warm side again. So 60s, 70s. Going into Sunday the 22nd, this is our first full week of spring. Man, let's hope this happens. This is showing 70s, if not maybe some 80s. The warm bubble is winning out the following weekend. So cold spell Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, and then, hey, this has been 2 days in a row. We've seen the temperature shooting up for around the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Into the 23rd we go. Big time warmth over the region. All right, and what a contrast. Below freezing temperatures out west of a strong front, and then 70s, if not 80s, in our region. So this is, I believe, a Monday the 23rd. We go into the 24th. Oh, and there goes the cold front. So we're going to be roller coaster riding it through the rest of the month of March. Here you go. Here's the reflectivity along that front. Of course, we would have some rain with that. Hopefully no snow or anything like that. Just for the fun of it, precip type in this. And so maybe a little bit of a cool shot there. Again, we're looking at the long range. If you're just tuning in, we're looking at the long range. This is the 24th. I'm going into the 25th. It is looking chilly there. On the cool side on the 26th, and that's as far out as the GFS weather model wants to go. So that has been the good old been on a limb. All right, I'm going to go back to Wednesday the 18th. The GFS was misbehaving. Let me bring this up. I just want to see what we're looking at here. Yeah. All right, so check it out. This is going to load. Here we go. Precip type. It's trying. All right, so that shows, I'm not buying this yet, but it shows some snow next Wednesday. Let's just ignore ignore the GFS with that right there. So, all right. That was the long range outlook. Let's get back to, again, a quick look at the severe weather threat for the rest of today. We are under a slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. Level 1 is the green, the dark green. That's marginal. Level 2 is yellow. That's slight. We don't have a level 3. That would be enhanced. Level 4 would be moderate, which they had up in northern Illinois last night. And then level 5, you never want to see, is high risk. So we're level 2. Out of this 5 severe weather risk categories, the tornado threat overall is looking greater for areas to our northeast and here in the darker shading to our southwest. This is only a 2% risk within a 25-mile circle over our area today. So that is our, from the Storm Prediction Center's risk. I'm going to bring back up our busy radar and satellite. Let me see if I can fix this watch real quick. Yeah, and tornado watch. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we still do have this tornado watch until noon today. I'm going to see it real quick on my other computer behind me here. I've got the National Weather Service chat up, so just bear with me and see if there's any updates. All right, so they're saying they're collaborating with the Storm Prediction Center to drop the tornado watch here shortly. Actually, I could look at this on my phone as well. Flood advisory for Jennings and Jackson counties. And I bet we will see. So the tornado watch has been canceled here for the majority of our area. Tornado watch has been canceled. So this will disappear on the map here shortly. That was just a few minutes ago. So that's good. The morning round tornado watch canceled. All right, let me see what the National Weather Service is saying for maybe later today. And this is from Mark Jarvis. He is a strong meteorologist at our local National Weather Service. So this is what they're saying. Given the lack of strong convection and likelihood of a little additional development in the short term, we're collaborating with the Storm Prediction Center to drop the tornado watch here shortly. So that's what we just saw. For the remainder of the morning, ongoing convection line will likely move east-northeast across central Indiana. We've been seeing that on the maps. I can put up the radar for you while I'm talking about this. And since the tornado watch has been canceled, let me go ahead and drop it off here. All right. I'm going to go full screen with this. Oops. Need to drop this off. There we go. All right. That way you can look at something more interesting than my head here. Okay, the strongest storms here could produce locally heavy rainfall, gusty 40 to 45 mile per hour winds. Moving into the late morning and afternoon, should see some redevelopment across central Indiana later this afternoon ahead of the cold front. However, widespread cloud cover will likely mute diurnal heating, and instability may keep storms from getting too strong. A secondary line of storms may develop from West Tennessee into southwestern Kentucky and then northeast from roughly Bowling Green over to Richmond. Based on the environment here, this line looks more linear in nature, supporting wind damage and maybe a few spin-up tornadoes. On the other hand, if the storms develop and were to remain discrete, isolated, supercellular structures would be possible with an attendant hail, wind, and tornado threat. Outside of the storms, gradient winds, so non-thunderstorm winds, will remain gusty. Therefore, the wind advisory will remain in place. All right. So that's the hope that, the more clouds, the better for today. And the round of rain that we've had this morning might settle things down for later this afternoon for round two. But as with even if there's just a little bit of a threat, even if it was the highest threat, even if we had a high risk, which we don't, I mean, it's the same thing. If there's a warning, seek shelter. But things, again, will be, I'd say through mid-afternoon, just stay extra weather aware. And then by late afternoon, Indiana should be in the all clear. And then maybe a little bit later towards sunset for Kentucky. Laura saying, ignore that snow chance for next Wednesday. But we do have flurries in the forecast for Monday. Laura saying, we'll be good. A little cold is okay once it recovers. Mary Dale saying the first day of spring sure looks good. Looking over some of the comments here. Got some sunshine in Valley Station. Today's one of those days where you don't want the sunshine. We want to keep a lid on the fuel for the storms. Here, the sun is coming out in New Albany. Yes, I do see a little bit as well, as we are live in New Albany right now. And we got a good morning from Beverly Haggis. Thanks for tuning in here at 10:02. Hey, we're up to our normal time for Ben at 10. We've been going on for an hour now. And Crestwood Rocks, watching on YouTube. Ohio Valley remains a concern. Yeah, parts of the Ohio Valley will still have a chance for some severe weather later on today. And especially parts of Ohio, where there's a higher risk of severe storms and tornadic activity as well. Lillian's got the sun coming out at her house. And speaking of that sunshine, let me go ahead and bring up our high definition satellite at extolmag.com/weather. I'm going to hit the refresh button here. 72 degrees now and a wind gust at 26. Going down here to our the big map. And this is the high def satellite. Let me show it so you can see it. And you can see there are some holes in the clouds. So seeing a little sunshine here and there. But as much as we can, we want those clouds to fill back in. You've got a wind gust map, very gusty, and you can see the wind direction change. Notice in northern Missouri, it's 39 now and 35 in Davenport. So northwestern Illinois down to the 30s, while it is 70 in Mount Vernon, Illinois. So Illinois has a 35-degree spread in temperatures. That, my friends, is a cold front. And that is the cold air that's going to be dropping our way later today. So just a big, strong system. Here's the temperature map. Easy to find the front as you zoom around. Chicago down to 37, 62 in Indy, 73 in Louisville. 73 in Louisville, even warmer than Nashville and Memphis right now. We're the same temperature as parts of Mississippi. Look at us. And then you've also got your Futurecast in the bottom left-hand corner. You just hit play, and it's going to show you some of the storms that come in later today and then move out later on this evening. And the cold weather dropping in. You can see that wind direction change there. And then whenever you want, you can just click on the map. It brings up this orange arrow, and it brings up your hour by hour different weather variables on the bottom that take you all the way through into next Monday. So you see those up and down temperatures right there. So a lot to play around with here on the map. And then there's this interactive map as well, which has winds, radar, storm tracks, watches, warnings, and all of that good stuff right there as well. So lots of tools there. And you've got your national watches and warnings. This here is the national weather map. So the tornado watch has been canceled for our area. And we are left with a wind advisory and through 7 p.m. And this is the message here from the National Weather Service. Sustained winds around 15 to 25, but there could be some scattered gusts to 40 to 45 for today. Just a busy weather day here. One of those days we'll get through it. Just again, stay a little bit alert for this afternoon, and we may end up with another watch. We'll see. We hope that things kind of have settled down, but we'll see how round 2 does. Still a little bit alert here for later on today. Starting to see some of that sun peek out here too at the Falls of the Ohio.org camera, looking there from the New Albany and Clarksville waterfront. And I did get the question about water levels for the Ohio River. We can take a peek at that real quick too. Quick forecast recap, and then we'll wrap it up on a Wednesday. So here, if you ever want to go to this, you can join me. This is water.noaa.gov, no www. So there are no flood warnings for the Ohio River. This is the McAlpin upper gauge, and it's actually going down with the forecast here. It's at around 16 feet. Normal pool is 12, so it's 4 above normal, but it is still, 7 feet below flood stage. So the Ohio River is handling this rain. But this one's going to go up. This is the East Fork of the White River. It was at major flood stage a few days ago, but is forecast to be around minor, perhaps moderate flood stage, depending on how much rain we end up with today. Then the East Fork at Bedford is at moderate flood stage. So some of the smaller river systems might be flooding out there, especially around Seymour to Bedford, Indiana, along the East Fork of the White River, maybe the Muscatatuck River as well. So that's water.noaa.gov if you want to check that out. All right, as I mentioned, forecast recap. Let me get rid of this and add this to the stage here. Linda Baker, can't wait to get to Florida. Oh, me too. I don't know when that'll happen, but it would be nice. Orlean, it's cloudy here. How's it going to be around Hodgenville this afternoon? So like we talked about earlier, just be aware that there could be some strong to severe storms through, I'd say, mid-afternoon. And then by late afternoon, that threat should go down. So just staying a little bit alert, and we'll be all right. Dennis, you're on the OT this morning. Thanks for the updates and the severe weather there in Bedford. You're welcome. Might be a nap in my future. Was up overnight just kind of watching things. Denise, you're on the ball. Thanks. All right, here you go. Here's your weather headlines for your March 11th. Severe thunderstorms still possible for later this afternoon. That'd be round 2, early to mid-afternoon. Keep an eye on that one. Still some strong winds, heavy rain, some hail possible. Can't completely rule out a quick spin-up tornado. Chilly Thursday morning, wind chills in the 20s, but we're going to see those winds die down. Sunshine returns tomorrow afternoon with highs around 50, and then back to some lower 60s for Friday and Saturday. It is going to be a windy Friday, and then some rain returns Sunday evening, and maybe some light snow Monday morning. But join us for a beautiful St. Patrick's Parade Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. until 8 p.m. If you come out, give me a wave there at the front of O'Shea's. Good morning to Christian Walker, 59 degrees, and have had some storms there. Yes, you have. Benefit concert. It's the Jessica's Journey Foundation benefit concert, April 4th, Final Four weekend. Juice Box Heroes, the Suburbans, food, drinks, and a good time out there. And spring begins in 9 days. We've got 38 days until Thunder over Louisville, 52 days until Derby Day, 74 days until Memorial Day. And our weather history for today was wild. This shows record snow, record heat, and horrible tornado outbreaks in March. March is not a friendly month weather-wise. 1888, an unexpected blizzard dumped 4 feet of snow, killing 400 people in New England. 1911, the deepest snow cover ever measured in the United States, 451 inches in Tamarack, California, Sierra Nevada. 1917, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Newcastle, Indiana. Lives were changed forever. In just a few minutes, 22 people were killed, hundreds were injured, 500 homes damaged or destroyed, and the greenhouses were leveled by a violent tornado. In 1923, an EF5 tornado struck Pinson, Tennessee, killing 20 people. And then in 1990, record heat around the region. Debbie, March comes in like a lion, and it goes out like a lamb. It's kind of like a mid-March lion almost. We're kind of towards mid-March. Our stupid jokes of the day. My neighbor Steve provided the first one, so blame him. Geese fly in a V formation. Do you know why one side is longer than the other? Scientifically, researchers have found because there are more geese on that side. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot. What did one hat say to the other? Stay here. I'm going on ahead. The sun is out in Borden, Indiana, and Christian's rocking his third cup of coffee. There you go. 75 degrees today, warm with some more storms possible this afternoon. A few of those could be severe. Southwest winds around 15 to 30. And a low of 36 tonight as the rain tapers off. It gets colder. Northwest winds around 10 to 20, wind chills in the 20s first thing tomorrow morning. Hey, we got some love for the jokes from Orlean and from Beverly Haggist as well. All right, we've got, and from Lily and Lasley. Thank you very much. So tomorrow's a cooler day, but sunshine returns, 45 at noon, around 51 for the afternoon high. It's not far from normal. Our average high is 56. And the normal low is 37. Our sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:58, so before 8 p.m. now, 8 a.m. I should say, and our sunset at 7:47. The big old 7-day forecast, lower 60s for Friday and Saturday, and some cooler nights, and then 72 on Sunday. Much of the daytime is looking dry, but plan on some rain Sunday evening. That could switch to some light snow early Monday, with a high of just 39. It could be kind of breezy Monday. Wind chills in the teens. It looks like for Monday and Tuesday morning. Ugh. Chilly for much of our next work week. But if you were here for the long range outlook, we saw some 70s maybe for our first weekend of spring, which is not this weekend. It is next weekend. All right. Lillian, hey, you have a good afternoon as well. And since we're wrapping things up, I want to thank our partners here. You can see at the bottom of the screen, they're going to be our severe weather partners all the time, and that is Lions Roofing, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You can get free quotes online, or you can give them a call on either side of the river throughout Kentucky and Indiana, 812-294-3595. They've helped us out personally here at Extol Media, and my mom, they gave her a new roof as well. Well, I'd say that the tree that went through our roof gave her the new roof. And Ivy Tech Community College, their campus right here in Sellersburg, powering the workforce in southern Indiana. And they are growing, and they are building, and they are hard at work, building a Baptist Urgent Care Center that's going to partner with their nursing program. And then also the Family Scholar House, which is for single mothers, making things accessible. You belong here. Dozens of 2-year certifications that could lead to 4-year programs and maybe beyond. So you can transfer credits like my daughter did, get that dual credit if you're in high school, level up, or career change maybe for you. And I want to thank our plumbing partner here, Clog Busters Plumbing Services throughout the Commonwealth. These rainy days can cause issues. If you've ever had that happen, it's no fun. But hey, you've got someone you can trust right here. They got you covered, again, throughout the Commonwealth. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can text, you can call, you can email, you can chat, or you can go right here to Clogbusters with a zplumbing.com to learn more, or call 859-762-1214. Michael Long's often on the show. If you want a quote and maybe find some ways to save, whether it's your home, your auto, your life, you can bundle it and save. You can use the app and save. Student discounts, make sure you figure all that out to save a good chunk out of your policy. So if you want to get a quote, 812-578-3072. He's helped me through a bad car accident, 2 bad car accidents, almost 2 cars totaled, and then a tree through a roof. And then if you're looking for an opportunity here, they are ramping up. Their busy season is upon us. Libs Paving, the top asphalt contractor around. If you go to the upper right-hand corner, the careers section, they may have an opportunity for you or somebody that you know. You can apply for those here online. And often we do Wednesdays with Weddington. We were about going to do it, but that was like, the weather's too busy. Let's do it when he gets back from Arizona later this month. So Brad built my home, my mom's home. And if you're ready, the journey begins here. Weddington Custom Homes. Brad Weddington, our local custom home builder, right there for you. Again, we thank all of our partners. FallsTheOhioFoundation.org camera showing a mixed sky of clouds and sunshine. Variably cloudy, sometimes we call that. You can always get your weather resources throughout the day. If we're not on here, you've got alerts, watches, warnings, interactive radar maps, cloud cover, all the different weather variables. Brand new weather story posted here as well. Just tons of resources here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There you can see the regional radar with some more active weather popping up over parts of Illinois. All right, I think that's going to do it, my friends. All right, stay safe later today. Just stay a little bit weather aware this afternoon. If we get some more warnings popping, we might pop back on the show later on today as well. So the tornado watch has been canceled. It was going to go until noon, but it looks like things are settling down for now. I think early afternoon we're going to start to fire things back up as that front approaches. So again, just seek shelter if a warning is issued. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for the like, the follow, the subscribe on YouTube, or the share. We appreciate all of that. We thanks for the comments and being a part of the show. No, Christian, no severe weather conditions here for now, and we hope we can dodge it again later on today. We just had some garden variety thunderstorms move through earlier. Christian Walker, any more rain and thunderstorms? I think you're in the clear for later today, as it'll be south of you, Christian, south of Indianapolis. So good questions there. You all have a great one. Mary says, have a good day. Hopefully you'll get a nap. I'm going to need a nap. Been a lot of talking today, a lot of forecasting, and a lot of not sleeping overnight watching the radar. All right. So that's part of the gig. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning. So tomorrow we'll just talk about a pretty nice weekend overall, and then maybe the 4-letter S word, snow, back in that forecast a little bit before spring officially begins. We always have a lot to talk about. We'll see you there. It's been at 10 Monday through Friday.